All right, everybody. Friday's here, end of the week, and welcome to this edition of Notre Dame Daily. Of course, continue to be brought to you by Fan Arch. I'm Pete Mulroy. And I mentioned at the close of yesterday's show that Marcus Freeman held a presser Wednesday where he addressed some of the reports that have been surrounding both himself and family over the past few days and weeks. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. First, concerning the absurd battery claims from an early January wrestling match in which his son was participating at. Freeman said it certainly took a toll on the family, but that he's unbelievably grateful for the immediate support he received from the university even before video evidence was released. Freeman also obviously upset with an unnamed media outlet, one he said was responsible for the family getting, quote, dragged through the mud, end quote, because they chose not to handle, the media outlet that be, the situation with what Freeman referred to, and I think many of us agree with, as integrity. Quote, the reality is I behaved in a respectful and professional manner while protecting my family. That should have been the only headline, end quote. He said that during the early portion of his press conference. He's 1,000% correct. I think anyone with half a brain and love for their family and children especially would feel the exact same way. Quite honestly, anything less is complete lunacy. So it's good to have this behind you, though I'm sure it was just an unnecessary headache and pain in the ass to have to deal with for whatever reasons this man felt he was accosted or whatnot. Just wild stuff. Concerning his future in South Bend, the Irish boss also noted that he's the coach of the University of Notre Dame, and that's it. While Freeman said that he may explore the National Football League down the line if the time is right, that time, at least for him right now, isn't in the present. Removing all doubt about a potential leap to the league now puts the focus back on what is an unreal recruiting class coming in, outstanding new talent from the transfer portal, which closes today, by the way, and further advancement of a returning roster that is among the best in the nation. The headline, of course, is one of the Heisman favorites in quarterback C.J. Carr. So overall, the press conference really wasn't anything I don't think most didn't expect. Freeman was matter of fact, firm in his commitment to his family, firm in his belief in himself, the university and football program. And again, he did all of this while having to discuss a personal matter that really had no business being blown into the nonsensical event that it became. The University of Notre Dame knows flat out what it has in Marcus Freeman as a football coach, yes, but as a representative human being and man, more importantly, and that is obviously a very big deal. Getting back to my quick mention of how great Notre Dame has been on the recruiting trail, and secondarily in the portal under Marcus Freeman, 24/7 released its updated overall rankings for the 2026 class, and right at the top, you guessed it, the University of Notre Dame. The rankings, which combine recruiting efforts for the cycle and recent January portal action, have the Irish as the number one ranked class ahead of Texas, Ohio State, USC, and Texas A&M, who rounded out the top five respectively. Now, included in this class are 8 transfers from the soon-to-be-closed portal, including the most recent addition, Tyion Gray, who I'll dish on in a minute. Defensive backs, DJ McKinney and Jaden Sanders. Wideouts, Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter. And defensive linemen, Keon Keeley, Francis Brew, and Gray were all coveted players who ultimately chose the Dome. Add in former kicker from Purdue, Spencer Porath, and the Irish nailed the main areas which required depth. From a strictly high school recruiting lens, the Irish were fantastic as well. We all know that. We've been talking about it for weeks and months. The 4th-ranked class in the country, specifically for high school recruiting, behind only USC, Bama, and Oregon, the Golden Domers reeled in some of the top talent from across the 50 states, including 4 players who received 5-star designations. A bigger deal depending on how much you invest in that sort of thing. Tight end Ian Premer is really the quintessential guy who could arrive on campus and play an impactful role instantaneously. Kid's that good. The same can also be said for fellow 5-stars in edge Rodney Dunham, safety Joey O'Brien, who gives you that versatility in the secondary, played some corner in college and at wide receiver in high school and at wide out while he was at LaSalle College High in Penn, and corner Kari Adams. So with outstanding talent entering alongside those 5-stars like running backs Jonas Walton, Javian Osborne, you got a talented tackle in Grayson McHugh coming in, a slew of gifted receivers, Devin Fitzgerald, Kadon Finley among them. This is the type of class a future foundation is built upon. defensive players in linebacker Jacoby Clapper, D lineman Tiki Ola. You've heard me say time and again how much I love this kid. And safety Nick Reddish also arrive with beyond promising futures. In its entirety, the 2026 class is an exceptionally put together group and among the best in the history of Notre Dame football. That's bar none. But another noteworthy point about the recent portal additions, most of the guys arrive with multiple years of eligibility. Mylan Graham has 3 years remaining. Fellow wideout Porter should have 3 years as well, though there's been talk that he may have surpassed the redshirt max of 4 games appeared in last season. Moving forward, that max redshirt will be at the minimum will be at 9 games. So there's a little inconsistency there. But corner Jaden Sanders has 3 left as well, and then you have Keeley, Brew, and Gray, all with 2 years of playing time remaining. Incoming kicker Spencer Porath, who again was an all Big Ten honorable mention last season, comes to Notre Dame with 2 seasons remaining of eligibility as well. So this 2026 haul truly loads up the future, both with the incoming rookies and guys who have had solid in-game experience on that high Division I level, including a couple guys who have participated in the ongoing college football playoff this season. That is huge. With the best possible coaching staff supporting these guys as well, the future of the program is truly in phenomenal hands. I mean, we really, maybe ever haven't seen anything like we've seen with the way Notre Dame has recruited under Marcus Freeman, yes, since he's taken the top job, but really in the past year to 2 years, especially with the end of that 25 class and what happened recently with this 26 group coming in and already kickstarting the 2027 group, not to mention what they've done this week in the second week of the transfer portal to bring depth guys and impact guys in who are going to play major roles next season and for future seasons. That's a hell of a job to be able to not just bring in these one and done guys, but to have guys here with staying power to help lay that foundation for the future. It's big, and even in the age of the portal, you don't see that happening too often. And speaking of one of the young guys that just came in, Tyion Gray, the latest addition to the Irish roster, the former Oregon Ducks defensive tackle, brings a solid skill set and a very unique frame in a good way to South Bend. One of the prime defensive linemen available in the portal. Gray now hops aboard, coming off a campaign in which he appeared in 13 games, 18 tackles, 2 TFLs, 6 stops, and a couple QB pressures. He's the type of player who can come in and not only provide depth, but give you steady productivity when on the field. Speaking of that frame, 6'6", 330 plus. He moves incredibly well for his size, and he possesses incredible knockdown and knockback power at the point of attack. The way he uses his leverage is also essential to fighting through blocks and getting into the opposition's backfield. If you've seen him play with Oregon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even at 330, he's got that incredible quickness along with the strength, which makes him even more of a tantalizing piece for this Irish defense. Not to mention, now on a defensive line coached by Charlie Partridge, one that's going to rely on creating that chaos, bringing the pressure. We probably haven't seen the full force Gray is capable of bringing each time he lines up, which is a scary thought. A play finisher, someone with a high football IQ, he slots in perfectly to a Notre Dame defensive line that has greatly increased from a talent perspective, both on the recruiting trail and recently in the portal. And it's due to that success I just talked about with these guys going out on the road, Marcus Freeman, Mike Mickens, and who had Marty Biaggi with special teams, Chris Ash, Al Washington, Partridge's resume speaking for itself in helping get Brew here. I mean, the success in the portal and on the trail, this is as attractive as a place to be, especially knowing that Marcus Freeman has recently said, look, maybe the NFL's in my future, but I can accomplish all of my personal goals and some goals we've set as the standard ones here at the University of Notre Dame. Why go anywhere? Didn't another good get for Notre Dame, and they should be damn proud of some of the work they did the last couple of days as this portal closes today. And I will close the week with an update concerning Irish captain Drake Bowen. While nothing major, stud linebacker is expected to miss a good amount of the spring after recently undergoing a procedure to repair a torn labrum in his hip. The injury was one that plagued Bowen for a good amount of time this past season. And while it's unfortunate that he will miss X amount of spring ball, a significant amount. He should be ready to roll come summer. Last season, the 6'2", 240-pounder totaled 67 tackles, 4.5 TFLs, 4 sacks, and helped the Irish dig themselves. He was a big part of it. Out of that 0-2 start to finish the season by reeling off 10 straight W's en route to a 10-2 closeout. And you look at this group as a whole, with a slew of defensive starters returning next season, including Leonard Moore, Christian Gray, Adon Schuler, Tay Johnson, Boubacar Traore, Kingston Viliamu Asa, who's expected to return to activity sometime in the fall after suffering an ACL injury this past season, and Bowen. I mean, look, this Irish defense is simply loaded. I mean, I think that's the top adjective to use here. They are a loaded group. Add in a great supporting cast of players around them at all 3 levels, and you undeniably have one of the best overall units in the country next season. Drake Bowen is as crucial a piece to that success as there is, and it is great news to learn that while frustrating, this injury shouldn't linger past the summer and into the season. So some positives where there was, a bit of a cloud for Drake Bowen. So all the best to Drake as he is now on the mend. With that, enjoy your weekend. It's cold up here in the Northeast. We had some, for this time of year, some warm weather the past couple of days, but it is 20-something outside now, and it is where I am here in New York City. It is windy, so it feels like much colder than that. So it's going to be cold up here. You know what I'm talking about. Stay safe, stay warm. Enjoy the weekend. NFL playoffs, college football national championship Monday night. I will see you again on Monday. And as always, you know it by now. Go Irish.